What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video and thank you for joining me. My name is Jesse and today we're working on my 2024 Harley Davidson Road Glide. We're actually doing an install while doing an install. Currently, exhaust is off, new one's going on. You'll have already seen that video, but now is the perfect time to tackle a second job, and that is installing a Mueller Easy Pull clutch system. I've done one on my Dyna, but never on this touring bike, so let's figure it out together. So Mueller has come out with a new Easy Pull clutch system. It's the Power Clutch 2.0, which you have already seen, but not offered in a kit along with the adjuster here. This is a metal adjuster that is going to completely get rid of your current plastic clip, red clip spring, Bowden cable setup that is crunchy and is weird and it works, but nah. So the part number on this is 120-80. They're pretty hard to find right now. I was actually able to find it on Law Abiding Biker's channel, and he's local in Washington, so it actually came pretty quickly. But that back order may be, not a thing by the time this video goes up. But either way, we are going to tackle this. I have been in the trap door before on my Dyna and done the ramp system aspect of it, but not this cable system. So we're gonna figure it out together and yeah, see how it goes. So first thing we're gonna do is probably open up the trap door over here. Now I'm not sure how much oil will come out of this trap door, but I do want to mitigate, making a mess over these wires, and I don't feel like totally draining the transmission because this fluid is pretty fresh. So I've got a little ramp set up here. It's gonna dodge all of the wires and drop right into our pan. Looking at a 3/16 Allen here. And 5/32 Allen. So now that we've got the trapdoor hardware all broken loose, I've got 2 bolts still holding it up top here. We're gonna go ahead and pop open the Bowden cover cable here, though we have access to that since we are gonna be working on all of that. Then we'll hop over to the other side and pop open the derby cover. And look at how rusty that spring is already with just a year and a half of 14,000 miles and some washes. So now we're gonna remove the derby cover. This may be different for you since I have an aftermarket one with aftermarket hardware, but I'm rocking a 3/16 here. Okay, 11/16, we're gonna break this loose. I'm gonna click it in gear so make that easier. Break this nut loose. And then we have our 7/32 Allen. We use that to back our adjuster off. It's already backed off. So we're good over here for now. Okay, well, I just broke this loose off camera. Had to give it a little love pry. I just used back of a hammer here with just the wood up against the engine case and against this fitting just ever so slightly. I don't recommend that, it's not proper, but it did work just fine. So, and it's always a good idea to leave a couple of bolts in. That way when that cover pops, it doesn't fly off and swing down and scratch and dang it, right? So as you can see, that's how much oil has come out so far. And yeah, glad we put that ramp there. That's definitely enough fluid to where I'm gonna have to go pick some more up. So here is our OEM ramp setup here. I keep saying ramp setup because it is quite literally a set of ramps with 3 balls, and as you pull, that tension's on there that way. So you'll see what all that looks like. A set of snap ring pliers would be good here. I actually broke the teeth off of mine, so I'm gonna be a dirt bag, and I have a set of pliers that are small enough that'll get in there. It'll work just fine. There we have it. I just used the towel to make sure that it doesn't spring out and cause any damage or harm to myself. So there you have the trapdoor with the stock ramps. You got 3 balls, they're all the same, so it doesn't matter if they fall out like that. The way that works is as it rotates, the balls make their way up and down those ramps and you get that tension. So we've got to remove this stock one. You can see that there's a flat spot in this piece here. So all you have to do is line that flat spot up, give it a little jimmy. There you have it. Stock ramp is out. So beyond that upper ramp, I believe we're also swapping out this lower ramp here. So make sure we don't lose these balls. Next up, we need to drop the bike down so that we can get the clutch lever out. I'm hoping that that's not too complicated. I don't have to take off the forged carbon and all that, but we'll see what it entails. So it looks like we need to remove this Torx here. Then we can slip this plastic piece out of the way. And there's a circlip holding the clutch stud on, and then we can slip the clutch stud out and then pull the clutch lever out of the perch. T10 Torx, just barely even on there. Nice. Well, I guess I'll be trying to find that Torx T10 later. So let's see if I can avoid making the same mistake with this circlip here. All right, you guys, we are calling it for the night. I am exhausted. I got up at 3:15 this morning. It's after 10 o'clock now. Worked a 13-hour shift. I'm starting to make mistakes, and that's when I know it's time to just step away before things get worse. Ended up dropping this little freaking screw that holds the little plastic piece underneath the clutch lever there on. And the girlfriend came and found it with her freaking really good eyes, so thanks, honey. But then, you know, popping the clip off of the little stud that holds the clutch arm in the perch, that went flying, and I'm like, okay, it's time to call it. I gotta go get a new circlip tomorrow now for the clutch pin thing, which I bent anyway, so that was gonna have to happen anyway, but better safe than sorry. I'm tired, I lost my wave. It's time to go to sleep. So take that as a good piece of advice, honestly. I used to not do that. I used to just like power through, and I'd make more mistakes, or I'd skip something, or I'd half-ass something, and that shit sucks. So call it when it's time to call it. See you guys in the morning. Good morning, we are back and we're ready to get things rolling here. Already started the morning off with a parts run, got the circlip that we needed that ended up flying across the garage. So yeah, we got the clip there. We've got the pin that holds the clutch lever in the perch out. So now we have our clutch lever free here. Show you up close what that looks like. And now we can continue on with the install of this easy pull system. So the whole reason that we have to remove this lever from the perch is so that we can collapse this cable all the way in. That way we can get the play that we need down on the other side at the adjuster. So now you can see if we push the cable from inside, we're able to push it up. So that's a little bit hard to see, I'm sorry, but we've got it popped out now of its little groove that it sits in, and you'll be able to see this better once it's all apart. But as we're doing that, you can see it's pushing further up and out here. So now we're able to disassemble this adjuster. To do that, all we need to do is pop this clip here and this clip here at the same time. Now it'll slide right up and off. So next thing we need to do is pop the red clip. Just press the tab. There you go. Get that out of there. Now they say you need to cut this off with like a hacksaw or whatever to be able to get it off the cable. I'm just gonna break it in any means necessary because we're not reusing it. Then the spring will come off and that'll be it for disassembly here. Okay, so we're ready for assembly now. Here you have the top part of the adjuster. We want to line all three of these segments up so we can get it around the cable. We'll make our adjustments that are necessary afterwards with that. And then we're going to take this end, not the end with the notch in it. We're going to slide it right on up until it clips on there. Now we can take the lower half of our cable here, Slide it up. Press it in. And we can go ahead and pull it back down. And then we need to just bend that tab in. There you have it. That's gonna slip all the way down like so. So now that we have the upper and lower cables attached in this assembly here, we're good for now on this part. So now we're good to install our Power Clutch 2.0. We've got our ramp here, sits right in this groove here. The 3 balls that were originally in the assembly here, we're gonna put our stock cable adapter piece here back on. Yours may not have fallen off, mine did. Just sits right on there. Once it's assembled, it cannot come off. From there, we'll go ahead and attach our power clutch. Next up, we want to get our clip back in. Okay, so as you guys can see, we get the clip back in, able to function freely. We're ready to button this up. Gasket's still in place. Mating surface looks good. A little bit of blue Loctite on the hardware. Make sure you get this cover on the pins before you go slamming these bolts in. There we go. As you guys can see, I'm just snugging these things up right now. I'm not fully tightening them. So 13 to 18 foot-pounds of torque on the trapdoor cover here. We're going 18. Next up, we want to drop the bike back down so that we can put the clutch lever back into its perch while there's still all the slack in the cable before we make our adjustments. Okay, so we're going to slip our clutch lever back in here. As you can see, there's still all the slack because we need to make the adjustment down below. This pin, getting this thing in was a nightmare because the lever is sprung. You can see the spring right there. You have to cock it over and get it in a groove. And there's a false groove that you have to watch out for that'll screw you up. Easiest way to do it is to go from the hole underneath with a screwdriver and pry it over as you push the lever in. I seriously struggled with this for like half an hour, and I'm pretty proficient with tools in my hands and whatnot. This was not a simple little thing. So anybody that says that they're doing this entire job in an hour is full of on the new 24s, I promise you that. So be patient, try not to lose the clip, otherwise you have to go buy a new one like I did. And yeah, it's not easy, but you can do it. So we have our adjuster nut totally loose here, so there's no tension, and we're gonna run it in until there's just tension. Make sure you got this nut backed out all the way, or at least enough to where it's not giving you a false sense of tension. So right there is our stop point. And now we're gonna back it off 1/4 to a 1/2 turn. I like the clutch play to be a little bit closer to the grip, so I like to go 1/4 turn. Go ahead and tighten up on that nut. Now I like to put it in gear. That way I can get a better tighten on it with a socket. And this clutch hub nut does not get torqued to much. It's only 120 inch-pounds. That's inch-pounds. So as you can see, we have a little bit of play there. That's exactly what we want. You want to make sure that you have a little bit of play there. That way, after a little bit of engagement, there you go. Okay, so now that we have that adjustment made, we're good to put the derby cover back on. You've seen this a million times. Make sure you torque them up to, I think it's like 84 to 108 inch-pounds. We get that buttoned up, and we'll go ahead and make our final adjustment to our clutch lever. Last step is adjusting the play in the clutch lever. We're gonna do that here at this Mueller apparatus here. Bring you guys in, show you what that looks like and how much play we want up the lever. So as you can see, we have our lower piece here. We've got this middle piece, which is where we're gonna be spinning to adjust this up. And this is just our lock ring. This is gonna end up retaining our position down here. So to make our adjustments, we're gonna be spinning this guy here. That's gonna be running these threads up and out, and you'll be feeling less and less play in your clutch lever as you do that. So once we have our clutch lever adjusted right where we want it, we're just gonna go ahead and tighten up on this lock ring here. That is gonna retain everything in place. And that's it. Go ahead and slide your cover on down. Fits right over that sleeve assembly. Clip it back in over here. So you can see we have about an 1/8 inch of clutch play before an actual engagement where you're pulling clutch. That's about right. Mueller says 1 to 1.5 millimeters, I believe. I've always just heard an 1/8 inch is about right. So yeah, that's where I like it. Okay, we are out and about, and hopefully you guys can hear me okay, because it's my first time having you in my helmet in quite some time. I was not planning on doing a ride review of this Mueller 2.0 Easy Pull in this video, but this clutch system is that good that I needed to make sure you guys knew that it was, you know, worth the time and effort that you see with this install video. So, don't love that. So, yeah, we're on a twisty road with some bumps here, so hopefully, you know, this is all gonna come out okay, but I figured a nice little ride and talk about it was, you know, necessary. So, overall, I would say that Mueller is correct with their advertisement of 40 to 50% easier clutch pull. It's still a little bit heavier, I would say, than a hydraulic clutch setup, but it is much, much lighter and smoother. I've ridden this bike for a few days now, went for a ride with Dan and swapped back to a stock clutch on his 24 Road Glide, and it was crazy how much heavier it was. I did not like it at all. Beyond the clutch pull being much lighter, it is also smoother. You do not have any more of that crunch as you're first pulling the clutch that you used to have with that stock Bowden setup down there. Just much, much smoother in that aspect. Beyond the smoother clutch pull up top here, I did not expect to see any real changes, but I did. Down at the foot controls, you have a lot better input now when it comes to shifting. I didn't expect that because obviously we're not making any changes down there. We're, you know, the clutch is still pulled the same. Like, there shouldn't be really any, you know, expected changes there. But with the ability to really fine-tune your clutch adjustment at the adjuster over here, and then at your derby cover, you're able to really dial in your friction zone and, you know, your little bit of clutch play that you want there. So just overall, you're able to set the disengagement of the clutch and engagement to a much finer degree, and you can get it to just right to where it's just buttery smooth shifts up and down. So really, really love that. Really awesome added benefit. So overall, I think this upgrade is completely worth a little over $200 and a quart of oil, and then maybe labor if you're not willing to do it yourself. But you know, especially if you're doing an exhaust, plan on doing this at the exact same time. That way you don't have to worry about that. Highly recommend. So just wanted to touch base with you guys on that. Let's get back to the video. All right, you guys, I think that about wraps this video up. There are a couple of tedious points to this task, so I would give yourself a couple of hours, not just 1 hour like I've heard some people say. Removing this trapdoor cover can be a pain because you got to get your exhaust out of the way somehow. That's going to be up to you. Where the Bowden cables meet in the middle in that plastic little apparatus there, it's hard to get those separated, so the easiest way to do that, and the way that they recommend, is to remove your clutch lever. That brings us to the next tedious task, right? Removing the clutch lever, you have to remove a little circlip, and that thing goes flying if you don't have a magnet handy. I ended up having to go pick up another one. There's a tiny little screw. There's a little spring that you have to get reset in when you're reassembling everything. So it's just a little bit of a pain in the butt, but it is doable with some patience and time. So just leave yourself a little bit of both of those things, right? Maybe have a beer handy for afterwards. Overall, I do recommend this modification. It is cheap. It's easy, especially if you save on labor doing it yourself, watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Comment with any questions or concerns you have down below. I'd love to help you guys out. Other than that, I'm gonna get back to installing this exhaust. I will catch you guys in my next off week.